Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about Survivor Season 46, Episode 4, titled Don't Touch the Oven. Last week on Survivor, Purple Yanu Tribe lost another immunity challenge, but ultimately we're spared by Randon's medevac. Before I dive in, I put a link in the description to my playlist where you can watch my previous recaps, and if you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. Let's dive into it. After Randon's departure, Yanu has a big group hug. Then, right after, Banu tells Q and Tiffany that he told the players on the journey that they have a close three-way alliance with Kenzie, which instantly pisses off Q and Tiffany, and they're glad that they didn't vote Kenzie out over Banu in the last tribal. Tiffany reports this right back to Kenzie.
He's like a toddler. You're like, don't touch the oven.
Pardon my interruption, but she said the thing.
And he does, and then he cries.
In the morning, Banu is praying for help in the game, and the sky seems to open up with light pouring down on him. Okay, God, come through. The tribes get tree mail telling them they're going to have a food reward, which leads to a God-tier musical moment.
Get on your feet if you want to eat.
Where that bass at, Liz?
I'm in the mood to win some food.
At Siga, Jem reminds us that she re-hid the Beware advantage that she found, and Maria finds it and throws it on the ground, but then ends up opening it anyway. So Maria publicly reads the clue that there's a box hidden under the tree, but Jem has already found it, and this is a different tree, so they're just digging in the dirt and ants for no reason, as Jem watches on for pure enjoyment.
I'm having fun on Survivor.
They head to their reward challenge, where Ben is thrilled.
All right, Jeff, let's go. Nice.
And the tribes find out that Randon was pulled from the game, shocking the Sigas. In the challenge, they'll paddle in from the ocean to collect keys that'll unlock rings, and then they each need to get a ring off a pole. Then one player can get them onto another pole. They're playing for some big nasty fish and some little nasty fish. Venus, Ben, and Mariah sit out, so they get started. Tim leaps from the boat onto their buoy and completely flips the buoy over, and for a minute I'm like, Tim, you good, son? The one and only Liz and Kenzie don't have the same problem, as Tim continues to jump on the deck and flop like a fish. Yanu and Nami get to the rings around the same time, but the one and only Liz can't get her ring, allowing Yanu to get ahead, but ultimately Maria struggles the most with her ring. Yanu ends up beasting this challenge, with Q ending up getting all 4 of their rings in good time and winning the big fish, and the second hunter gets to the rings. You know it's over for Siga, so Nami win the small fish. Yanu decide to trade their fish for the previous reward of the tarp and tools, which was really smart and needed. Nami comes back to their
5 stunningly gorgeous fish.
And Liz is happy about the fish because she's allergic to everything they've been eating. Tevin has a great moment when he offers to scale the fish, and he says that his dad, who passed away 10 months prior, taught him how to do that, and I have lots of respect for him being out there doing all this after such a recent loss. Over at Yanu, they fix up their shelter, and Q is trying to help Banu learn to communicate. He says that if they go to tribal again, Banu is definitely going, but in the case that they keep winning and all make it to merge, they want Banu to be a better player. They roleplay camp life.
Tonight, who you vote for?
I don't know who I'm voting for.
Would you vote Tiff tonight?
Oh, yeah, sure. Is he voting Tiff?
And tribal council.
So, Banu, what's going on at your camp?
We're vibing with everybody. Everybody. I'm vibing with all of them.
Banu is so proud to report his new learnings back to Kenzie, and he asks Kenzie for more role plays, and she rejects him and he walks away very sad. I get that she's frustrated with him for many reasons, but Kenzie comes across really mean to Banu many times this episode. Not cool. At Siga, Maria is upset about her performance in the challenge, and they all get emotional as Maria opens up about being raised by Lebanese immigrants, and she was hard on herself when she didn't succeed in her life. This tribe always has such a great supportive vibe. They really are surviving, huh? They go back to digging around the tree for the Beware advantage, and at this point they've dug up the whole tree. They start to suspect that the clue was planted by whoever found it. Mariah proposes to Jem that Tim found the Beware advantage and re-hit it, and Jem rolls with it. They spread this rumor to the Charlie's Angels Alliance. Back at Yanu, Banu feels disrespected and like his tribe is treating him like a puppet. Kenzie decides to go apologize to him, and it makes him feel better. He handled this way better than I would have. At Nami, an announcement.
If anybody sees some dirty orange underwear, holler at me.
As they cook their panty soup, Soda says that Liz and Venus are at the bottom of the tribe, and Soda is playing hard with everyone. Tevin notices this and loses trust in Soda. He shares this with Hunter, who's down to get Soda out as well.
Soda got the Goda.
They get tree mail, a rare 2 tree mails in one episode, saying they have to jump off something. Mariah opens up that she's afraid of heights, and they comedically teach her how to jump. She truly can't jump. Their immunity challenge is jumping off a platform, swimming down to retrieve coconuts that one hero player will shoot into nets. The first 2 tribes to score 3 win immunity. Hunter, who's not afraid of being seen as a threat, nearly jumps from one platform onto the next, setting Nami off to an early lead. Banu skips a crate obstacle and has to go back. Mariah triumphantly jumps. Charlie shouts out,
Taylor Swift!
and Tim flops on another platform. Tim gets one basket in for Siga, but Nami and Yanu catch up with Q and Hunter shooting. Hunter, of course, makes it look easy and bodies the baskets. Banu struggles in the water, and Tim makes a final basket, sending Yanu to Tribal Council yet again. After the challenge, back at Yanu, Tiffany, Q, and Kenzie are ganging up again and excluding Banu, and he notices and overhears them talking negatively about him. Banu cries because he doesn't have a vote or a shot in the dark, and he looks everywhere for an idol.
I'm digging deep here. Dig deep, he says.
It's really sad to watch him desperately look for the idol that we know has already been found. Banu gets upset and breaks down. Kenzie comforts him.
What can I do?
Can you find me an idol?
And he begs on hands and knees for Tiffany to save him. Tiffany pretty much tells him he's going home in a nice and respectful way. After this, Banu says his teary goodbye to the island and finds some closure, telling us that he's going home tonight, but he's going to tell his story at Tribal Council. Tribal starts out with them talking about Banu exposing all of their games on the journey. Jeff flat out asks them if Banu is going home, and they agree, so Jeff just opens the floor to Banu to share his story. He tells them his story of living in poverty in India and being the first of his family to find education and find success in a different place. They don't vote, and Jeff just says, Banu, give me that torch, and gives Banu a hug, which is nice. So we have to say goodbye to Banu here, who was definitely a vibes player on a tribe with two cutthroat players in Tiffany and Kenzie. I think if he was more on a vibes tribe like Siga, he would have fit in more, maybe not on Nami. He has a big pure heart and says he's a big Survivor fan, which I find questionable because there are big parts of the game he didn't understand. I feel like he has a very old school approach to the game. So I understand his tribe mates' frustrations where they didn't sign up to teach someone who just ruined their chance at $1 million how to play the game, but I don't think it was right for them to isolate him and ice him out given how emotionally vulnerable he is. Through all of that, he ends up being a big character through these 4 episodes, someone who I think is a lock for a second chance this season, and I think he definitely does better than he does here. That's all I have to say about this episode. Let me know in the comments, out of the 3 tribes, who do you think will be voted out next from each tribe? Also, I just posted episode 3 of my Survivor Borneo retrospective, so check that out. It'll be in my end card. I'll be back with more Survivor next week. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Until then, have a nice weekend. Bye!